Hello, welcome to Immortal Way of Life, a different game on this channel. Now, in case you're wondering what is this game, essentially, if you have read any Xianxia novels, so those cultivation novels, this is a playable game that puts you into the role of one of those Xianxia novels. So you're just playing the main protagonist in a Xianxia novel. That's the basic gist of the game. Now, Immortal Way of Life is also known as Ni Xuxin, which is searching for a long life. And I decided to finally cover it as YouTube, on one hand, barely has any content. You essentially only have the playlist from Baby Boomer Gamer. And in the playlist, you'll notice it quite quickly. I even rewatched it lately. He doesn't have all the knowledge about the game. As such, it's not the best experience if you want to actively learn about the game. Secondly, I have a couple hundred hours myself, so I thought I should do my due for it. That being said, we can start right now. There are two more notes in that I'll be doing a roleplay themed playthrough. So I have a specific character, etc. in mind, which I'm creating and basing it around. Secondly, I do have a modded game, and that plays into role in two aspects. On one hand, quality of life, on the other hand, in some changes. To talk about one of the mods, in Xianxia novels, what's very common, typical, is you can find like some secret realms or whatever and get some rewards from it. This game has a similar aspect, but the rewards from it are really bad. We're talking, in the game there's tier 1 to tier 6 rarities, tier 6 being the highest, and in those secret realms or herb locations you can get like tier 1 and tier 2 herbs. Very underwhelming. And the mod changes it to higher tier herbs. And I feel that's fitting. Now, obviously with higher tier herbs come stronger enemies and stronger soul beasts. But that's enough. I'll personally be skipping the intro. If you are interested in the intro, you can either check it out on YouTube or the game trailer itself, or play the game yourself. Now, I picked out my name already, Ni Xuxin. We are playing a girl, just for the sake of it. This is a random character role I've landed on, and that seems perfect. I'll be changing it up though in the future. And here we are. It's essentially character creation, just like with Hero's Adventure. In this case, you pick your difficulty. So in Hero's Adventure, imagine free mode, nightmare, hard, normal, easy, etc. We'll be playing on very difficult, which is very challenging, as every damage I deal is halved, and the enemy on the other hand deals 50% more damage to me. So it's a factor of 3. Imagine I normally deal 200 damage to the enemy also deals 200 damage to me, so both players take 200. With this, suddenly my 200 damage I deal becomes 100, the enemy's 200 damage they deal becomes 300, so I take 300, they take 100. It's a fact of 3. Secondly, and that's part of the roleplay thing, is for character creation. When you create a character, you can have different roles. So you could be the hero of destiny, you are the son of heavenly fortune, and you get 20 initial talent points. Just like with Hero's Adventure, you can spend those on different traits and so on. Now, I want to be playing in the role of essentially a Mortal Cultivator, and that starts with 0 points, but will go even worse and start with the Sword by Heaven start with -5 talent points. So this is the hardest starting option. Other options is, for example, Long Autian. This is based on a novel cliche, novel trope with 40 talent points. There's another one with 99 talent points. But we are going for the worst of the worst. And that's part of the roleplay thing. Next up, we can pick our birth. There are different options. You can pick one of them, like they cancel each other out, and then you could alongside pick Transmigrator. I'll personally be going for Scholarly Family for the initial comprehension boost. Then we can also pick our spiritual root, so you can have that heavenly spiritual root every main character somehow starts with. But since we do not have the points, I will have to go for the worst of the worst. Your initial talent is very poor. Your spiritual roots and cultivation speed are no different compared to ordinary people. As such, I can skip the screen as I have to select 5 of these. If you were to pick a heavenly root, you can pick the element you specialize in. But I don't have that luxury. Then we can go to our innate constitution. I'll personally pick up this -8 trait, which has a lot of downsides. I cannot take pills to increase my cultivation. I will take the -HP, less life gain, so less HP gain from each realm breakthrough stuff, so I'm even weaker. I am taking -10% cultivation speed, so we are very weak. Besides that, one of the mods I am playing with is called Fighting is Fun, and this is the starting option fighting. When you fight enemies and especially do cross-realm fights, so imagine you as a foundation establishment defeat a golden core. You get some rewards for it, and I feel it's fitting because we are playing a share novel and the main character somehow can always cross-realm fight. It's a very basic thing. Besides that, another mod is this female cultivators feel pain, but for a playthrough I cannot do that, otherwise people have to watch with headphones. Other options I am going for is definitely Heaven's Blessing. I get 20% more Enlightenment XP, and that's the important thing to me. That's it. If I had more points, if I started with the 40 initial, I would absolutely take Reborn Immortal, I would take Dragon Bloodline, I would get rid of Weak and Sick, but we don't have the luxury of those options. Next up, we also reduce our lifespan by 30. So instead of living to the age of 100, we only live to 70. I'll explain the stats in a moment. I don't think we need to reduce our speed, but we now go ahead and pick up Unforgettable for more initial comprehension. I wish we could pick up the bottle, but I can't. And then, well, it has to be like this. In every novel ever, your starting engagement gets broken, so my mental state is distraught. At the age of 15, your betrothed broke your engagement because of your poor appearance, and you were ridiculed for it. And with those 3 remaining points, I can take First Glimpse of Tao, and we are at a perfect 0. So you could start the journey now. These are all the different rates. Some of it is in Chinese due to the mods I'm playing with. They are not initially in English, but you can use the auto-translator function from Unity to translate it. But to get into the details of the different stats and why you should pick them, first you have qualification. Qualification is a boost on your cultivation speed. It's 1% per point, so imagine your basic technique you're training with gives 100 XP per month. If you have 15 qualification, you get 115. If you have 100 qualification, you get 200. If you have 115 qualification, 215. The maximum is 200. A heavenly root, for example, would give you plus 70, which is a big change from 185 per month in comparison to 115. Next up is comprehension, or in this case called enlightenment. When learning techniques or comprehending Tao, the speed at which you comprehend stuff is based on this stat. Once more goes up all the way up to 200, and the higher the better, with diminishing returns. Then you have spiritual or soul sense. It is used for, on one hand, spiritual or soul sense skills, on the other hand, for discovering locations near you, around you, and for exploring or looking at other people in case they are not friendly with you. Speed determines how fast you move on the map. As such, a very important threshold is reaching 15 speed, because then moving from the map from one tile to the other only takes a single day. Then starting spirit stones, your currency, then your HP, which in my case is reduced due to one of the traits, only 25 HP. Next up, lifespan, how long you live. When you reach your lifespan, or rather go over it, you die. Your spiritual root, I feel like these are self-explanatory. And then your mind. Mind gives some cultivation speed bonus once you are above a certain threshold, and if you are below a certain threshold, it gives you reductions. The idea is your mental state plays a role in a lot of cultivation novels. There's even the idea of a heart demon, and mind is supposed to represent it. Now, mind is very easy to raise, so I do not bother reducing it by 30. Same with lifespan. Lifespan should not be an issue unless you specifically join the Fire Sect and practice the lifespan consuming manual. Should not be an issue. Now we will start our journey. They missed an O, okay? They had to miss an O. It's not the biggest of deals. As for my character and the roleplay aspect, one thing I am limiting, and we can talk about it while it's loading, is I am not allowing myself to do alchemy. Reason being is alchemy is very overpowered. I personally have grown sick of novel characters all going into alchemy, creating the highest tier pills, being rich all of a sudden, and being strong. And the same holds true for this game. Alchemy is very strong, very overpowered. Secondly, in the early cultivation stages, money is king. If you can reach a lot of money early on, you have a very pleasant time. Now that is the first part of my roleplay. The second part is my build I am playing around. This is my 11th character, have tried out most of the base game builds, and more importantly, I recently talked with a Chinese modder about one of his mods, and in it he was stating that some of his skills, in this case the Azure Dragon skills, are not good enough on their own. So I kind of want to put this to the test, and that's exactly what I'm doing in this run. My character is a Mortal Cultivator, even with Sword by Heaven's very low starting points, but they have the Azure Dragon Inheritance from the get-go, and we'll get to that in a moment. Furthermore, I did mention no alchemy. I will be giving myself, and I'll be consoling it in, some alchemy down to get to the double pill resistance, as otherwise playing the game feels bad later on, as double pill resistance is extremely good. As such, I would always recommend people to go for alchemy. One more thing by not going for alchemy is I can showcase how you get the different pills. I, as mentioned, rewatched Baby Boomer Gamer's playthrough recently, and he was struggling to find foundation pills, and I'll showcase how you can get those without alchemy. With alchemy you can get 20 or so foundation pills in like 3 minutes, but we actually have to farm them or trade for them. Now, right away, this is one of the mods. It's a teleportation. I don't know why it says Telection Talisman, but I'll just sign up for it. Secondly, we have War is Refreshing, which is what I mentioned with fighting is fun. I'll have to set this up in a moment, but here we are. Another mod of mine, we replaced the old man portrait with the old grandma, because let's be honest, we all like this change. Have you finished streaming, stupid disciple? Get up and let's hit the road. The lore is we personally found a magical sword with a spirit inside, and that's how our cultivation journey starts. And here we are. If you're still drowsy, go and recite the exhalation cultivation technique 1,000 more times. Ai Weiwuji, yes, it's still a guy name, but we imagine this is Grandma Wei. Have lived in the sword for hundreds of years and have never seen such a troubled disciple like you. At this rate, how can you reach cultivation foundation establishment? She also mentions she has lost her memories. As such, she cannot give us the most OP stuff. Now I'll personally skip the guide and we will set up my character. Okay, so here we go. I now set up my character. First up, I changed my own portrait to something I like a lot more. If you wonder who this is Ni Xuxin from Jade Dynasty or Zhuxian, and this will be our portrait now from this playthrough on. And secondly, I gave myself the different techniques, so my Azure Dragon Inheritance. Now, don't be worried about me immediately being OP, etc. due to having these. They have a restriction of me needing a good understanding in Wood DAO to even learn, and we are nowhere close. So it's gonna take a bit of time till we even get there. Secondly, and that's quite amusing, if you have ever read like those novels, the main character often has some incredibly rare treasure and so on, which in this case are these three. And as a result, the main character is often robbed, or at least people attempt robbery on him. The same thing will happen to us as now NPCs realize we have these heaven crate books in our inventory and they want to steal them. Besides that, yeah, everything else should be pretty self-explanatory. And that's the basic starting option, start with the exhalation skill as our one primary, or in this case technique, which means 96 cultivation speed per month. One thing I have to note though is, if you look at the screen, this looks awful. This is not the fault of the game, nor the fault of the English translation mod. It's due to me having the auto translator running. This is what screws up this menu right here. To me, it's not a big deal personally, but to other people it can be annoying. And well, the reason I am using an auto translator is so these different techniques actually get translated, as they only have a Chinese description. Yes, I'll probably do like some short tutorial. What is DAO? DAO is essentially your skill tree. So you have the different DAO types, and by comprehending DAO, which is obtained via discussion with other NPCs or randomly from events, you can increase your points in each DAO, and then you can use your enlightenment points on the different skill tree aspects. So it goes from left to right, and you need to pick one in each row to access the next one. As a result, you pick the different DAOs depending on your tree. In our case, since we eventually will be doing tanglement or entanglement, I'll pick up this coiled root stuff, but we need to get to it later. But basically, this allows a high degree of freedom and specialization. Your techniques are essentially internal manuals if you look at Hero's Adventure. They have some effect in the combat, or can also have one just outside of combat depending on it. For example, this one has +3 maximum HP, and they are passives. Your skills are your actives, which you use to damage people, and we'll get to the combat system in a moment. I really adore it nowadays. Inventory, fame, which is basic stuff, and saving. Now here we are. We will head to the next tile as our master. Well, it's the only way, to be honest. And you can see it takes us 7 days because my speed is so low. The one in the grass is a really large python. It's a python perfect for your cultivation level. That's right. Now the lovely grandma does state we should probably equip our weapon. So we'll do that. And then we fight. And the fighting system. At first, it really put me off. I did not like it either. If you just look at the screen, sadly, I cannot change this avatar, but we live with it. But nowadays, as I mentioned, I really adore it. The idea is you have chi or energy every turn, and there are 5 different ones, and you spend it on your skills, and they need a certain ratio and so on to activate your skills. So it's turn-based, but you have a limited amount of energy. Besides that, you can also have like relics, artifacts, such as this weapon, which just deals 2 damage. We can just click on it or use the shortcut. And one thing I really love about the game is the rotation, I'd say, of the chi. So if you look at the base skills, we have Metal Blade. It deals some damage and deals additional damage if the last skill used was Earth. So if we use this in case Metal or Gold after Earth. Next up you have Water. It deals more damage if the last skill used was Metal. We have Wood, deals more damage if the last skill used was Water. So the idea is if you perfectly rotate around, you get additional benefits. And I really love this system. And now in this case, this is a tutorial, a scripted tutorial. So we already know what we have to do. We can use the luck spell to change our spiritual energy types. Then we start with wood spikes. Then we follow with Firebomb. As our last skill was wood, we deal additional damage. And then I also get some shield. Now shield has something called synergy, and we'll get to it in the next round. And then we get hit instead. Now what is synergy? The idea is if you have 2 chi types which are adjacent to each other, they have a positive interaction. In this case, we get the synergy of 1 additional shield. If you use chi types that are not adjacent to each other, for example, fire, metal or water, they are bad. Now, different techniques want different stuff. So you just have to figure out what your build requires. And that's the initial combat. Very simple, very standard. It looks scary, but it's not a big deal. And suddenly we hear the sound of swords clashing, and we see some kids in the chi refining stage, so the same as us playing around. It's interesting. Here you go, we get some insights. You could then comprehend those and get some Dao XP for your skill tree. Hey, this aura. Hey, Gonyong over there, please save me. Yep. What are you? Old woman, of course. Cultivators use their soul sense to recognize people, yes. And we take the initiative to help. We get another fight. You can look at this opponent. Very basic character, let's be honest. And let's go. Now this is another tutorial fight, so we don't have the debuff. Normally you get a debuff because we're playing on the extreme difficulty, but not yet. We can probably start with a shield with these 2, and then rock followed by metal. Metal deals more damage. He did not attack, that's perfect. We can continue with water. You can even see this like border stating he gets additional damage. And our sword finishes it off. Perfect. Just now, thank you for your help. I am surnamed Xueqi. You don't have to be polite. That we are planning to attend the East Stone Valley. and he found a counterfeit item, and he destroyed it to protect the initial item. We have a deep friendship. Yeah, if you are willing to go, miss, we can head to the East Stone Valley together. They hold an Immortal assembly every year in January. Now here we are. You even receive a rumor that the East Stone Valley always has this on January and February. And we also have some main quests, which is learn any technique, understand any DAO, and become foundation establishment. Now, we did get some pills from him. We could use them, but it's a waste. What we can do is we can consult him and learn some of his techniques from him. Since we helped him out, we got some affection with him, and we can click on some of those techniques. I personally, we could go Yagami Stab, but I think Chi Gathering is good, and the Jade Cloud Kung Fu 9 shield at the start of combat. I don't have any more left. We can also look at his inventory. Ooh, a Bright Heart pill. My god, he's rich. 30,000. We just head along. My speed is so bad that it takes forever, but here we are. It's so prosperous, yes. It does feel like a cultivation novel where you have the different stands and so on. All that's missing is that you find like some secret artifact that's like already dusty and so on, and happens to be an amazing one. But we'll go to the marketplace. We find tons of cultivators. Hey, old woman Wei, you always claim to be knowledgeable. Help me pick out some powerful treasures, will you? Do you really expect to find any treasures here? But yeah, they also recommend you to buy the Chi Gathering manual, but why should we buy if we get it for free, clearly? Like, you are supposed to interact with this guy. Another mod I actually have is this button right here. It pulls together all the items from the different NPCs in this area, so I can just look at all of them at once. Very handy, amazing quality of life. What do we have here? Could I use any of them? Lingyun skill is acceptable. Chi Gathering we already have. Jade Cloud Kung Fu we also have. I'll be going, and that's something that goes alongside my inheritance, the Azure Dragon Inheritance. I'll be going for wood eventually, so I can use the generous water seal. Do I want the fiery clarity seal? Why not? Why not? Just buy him. 332. That's fine. Then we head to the inn. We decided to meet up with Ni Xuxin in February at the, in this case, auction house. So we'll just skip the dialogue. Basically what old woman Wei is saying, back in her times, back when I was young, when I went to school and had to hike up a mountain to get there now. The inns did not have spirit gathering arrays. Nowadays they do. So there's just a change in times. We can now stay at the inn. Since we only need to stay 1 month, we stay 1 month. It costs a single spirit stone. So very, very simple. Now, do you need any advice? The disciple already knows everything, and I'll try to help out people to know everything. But you can see I can stay a few more months. Now there are some options. Appeals is from another mod, which just helps you find the city appeals. It's a lot better, like in this way. You don't have to always head into the city. You can also do it outside. Now these 3 heaven arts are, well, my inheritance, but if you try to learn it, insufficient wood now. And, well, secondly, not enough time to learn it. So we can only learn our techniques. This one takes 7 days, this takes 3 months. 15 days, 15 days. Another mod of mine is this estimated date, so you can see when it's estimated to have finished. I'll probably go for chi gathering, and you can see we passively heal when cultivating, so no need to do anything else. And we got our first bit of cultivation. My god, so good. 96, I don't even know. Okay, it's time to meet your friend, sure. Our rich friend with 30,000. As mentioned, money is very strong, especially in the early game. If I can get together, let's say 200,000, I am unbeatable at this cultivation stage. And gathering money is one thing we have to do. And here you can just see how convenient this one mod is. You can even filter by what you want. Let's say I do not want the most basic rarity. I can remove churn, which means all, and just pick all other rarities. It should be like a lot faster. We can also consider these different manuals they have. Metal Chi, I don't need. We do have the water one already. I would preferably get the shield techniques. You can also buy these different manuals at a shop, just at a slightly higher price, but there you go. And yes, we want to participate in the auction. What do you have for sale? Breath adjustment and armor. Whenever damage is dealt, there's a chance the enemy... I've never seen this before, but cool. We just participate, put 10 spirit stones. Let's be honest, auctions are a large part of any novel. You always have a character participating in it. In our case, we're simply not rich enough. This is estimated to cost 5,000 in the end. 7,800 not happening. The 7,000, oh, I went to 9,200. At most I could have bought the golden sword aura, but it does not fit my build. And it's finally over. Why are you sighing? It's just, this time the organizers are Ni family. There you saw how the auto translator kicked in, because this one portion was not translated, but I have my own ways. Basically, he ran away from home. He is part of a prominent Ni family, which is situated in Wuling City. That's why he's so rich as well. And he's afraid he'll be caught back. So we head to the inn, interact with him again. Are you ready to set off? We are. Let's go. And we can move across the terrain. You can see like the map. I'll try to keep my eyes peeled for any herbs I could see. No? Sad times. That's a good source of money. Like a potential source of money. I finally arrived at the foot of the mountain. The city is quite large. First time here. This is the place our Ni family has built with our own hands. And there's a young hero tournament every 5 years. And it also happens to be this year, and then in year 6, year 11, year 16, and so on. You can participate as long as you are of the Chi refining realm, and additionally, if you are younger than 40 years old. Yep, you know my name. I know a little more than that. After the young hero tournament is over, the head of the family will host a banquet to express gratitude for, in this case, us helping Ni Xuxin. And the game already points you towards the Ascension Terrace and the Young Hero Tournament. Now, since we have a very weak starting character with -5 and we're playing on the extreme difficulty, we are not winning at all. Coinciding with the Young Heroes Tournament, a lot of cultivators are here. Do you want to participate? Yes. Like, different people can participate. You get foundation pills as a reward for winning it, and foundation pills are very handy for reaching the next cultivation stage. But, and that's the thing, Most of the participants are in the middle or late Qi refining stage. We, on the other hand, are early stage. We have very little HP, very bad skills. We take 50% more damage due to the difficulty and so on. So we decide to spectate instead, and we get 500 cultivation from it and 2 mental states. There you go. And now we are immediately invited to the banquet, which is all just tutorial stuff. The banquet, yeah, they mention how, or like the grandma mentions how strong people are. He, for example, is a nascent soul character, and we are a pitiful Qi refining girl. And we have a special sword. He decides to check out the sword, and the old grandma mentions how her soul is sealed inside the sword, so don't worry about it. Now we suddenly get attacked by spiritual energy. Don't worry too much about it. It just happens, yeah. How does it feel to be a willing but powerless girl? One day I'll go to a place higher than him. If you want to know what actually happened at the banquet, play the game. I'm just speeding through it. Do not underestimate the poor youth. I will definitely touch the top of the world. 30 years in East, 30 years West. Don't bully the young because they are poor. Like I told you, playable change novel. It feels so like it. With such aspiration, you can achieve your dream, and you get +1 comprehension. Now, different things you can ask her. I already know it, so here we are. The housekeeper walks up. He shows some concerns, and we get some specialty, which improves our mood by 5. So we are now at -23, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you. And they also give us some spirit stones as a compensation. So 1,500 spirit stones. We are so rich now. We can also head to the Grand Hall and talk with the steward regarding the different sects you can join. So there are 5 main sects you can join in the game. You can also decide to be, I guess, rogue cultivator, however you want to call it, and not join any sect. Then there's also the White Emperor Sword Pavilion you can join. It's not really a sect, but it does have some additional rewards for inner disciples. In our case, since I am going for the Azure Dragon Inheritance, and that is all about wood and entanglement, we definitely head to the Bamboo Mountain, which specializes in wood. That being said, and that's part of the fun part about this playthrough, is if you would have started with a heavenly spirit route, you would have immediately become an inner disciple in that sect, because you are so talented and so on. Sadly, we are not that talented. Next, I'll personally teleport to Sky City, also known as Tianqing City, and head to the Taoist Inquisition. The Taoist Inquisition is a location where you can buy some manuals, and there are a ton of different ones. One thing that's very important to us is the wind technique. As mentioned, speed decides how long it takes for you to travel across the map, and time is money, and money is strength, and strength is more rewards and more time, etc. You not get the gist. Speed is important, and I'll definitely buy this wind technique. And now one thing to note is it does state as a condition you need to reach the first glimpse of Tao. But with my starting traits, and that's how I created my character, I have Heaven's Blessing and first glimpse of the Tao. I start with 1200 XP in all of these different ones. Now, since I learned this one water technique right here, I gained some additional water chi as well, and I should have gotten some normal chi as well. So you get this XP from learning techniques. It even states this. they go like at the bottom it says afterwards increase your comprehension of the body down, increase your comprehension of chi, of wood, etc. That's one way you get it, and the other way is from discussion. But we'll definitely buy wind. I don't have enough to learn like the best of the best. I would very much like to learn, if we can find it, the turtle breath technique. That is a goal of mine, to do it like, let's say, within this year. Obviously, to do so I need money, and to get money I need to find some herb patches and hope. Besides this, I'll probably... We do have... Okay, I gotta think now. Metal goes into water, which goes into wood. So the metal seal is also fine. First up, the walls I want the tree wall. Gain shield, doubles if the last thing was a water skill. I want... We'll just buy those. I have the wood one, which goes wood into fire. So I also want to buy the firewall. That should be fine. Now let's leave the city. Is there any herb patch right here? No. That's a shame. But we'll go to the Wuling City Inn. Yes, I want a room for like, let's say 5 months. Because very important to me right now is to learn this wind technique for plus speed. From our buddy Ni Xuxin we got a abortive pill. Yeah, we'll equip our speed manual, and now we are at, I think, 6. It's a bit hard to read due to the auto translator, but so be it. It takes 1 more month, sure. And we can upgrade it a 3rd time, 2 months. This was very helpful. Yeah, we are at 10 speed now. How fast is 10 speed? I don't know. But it's now time to move. 4 days now. I have to obtain money. At the same time, I will head to this Yong'an town since there's an event right here. Ignore this one. We head up to the school. We see children being taught and learning stuff. As such, our mood increases by 20. And we are only at -3. I am trying to see if there are any herbs. You could also try joining the Golden Rainbow Sword Sect if that is something you want to do for your build. I don't, so, well, I don't. Okay, sadly, no herbs. Down here, nope. Okay, I'll probably teleport to Yifeng City. I do not want to fight a snake. They are scary as hell at my stage. And as for what I want to do with the money, there's the weapon hall. And you can buy different stuff. It can get expensive, like 80k and so on. In fact, there's even an upstairs floor where it can cost up to 1.5 million. And for 1.5 million you could obtain a weapon that deals 72 damage right away and 24 at the end of the turn. And if you look at enemies, even if you half the damage, 36 and 12, very strong. But my current goal is to make enough money to, on one hand, obtain like a robe, a defensive robe, and the golden light, which costs 11,700. And we are poor. So our adventure starts finding herbs. Sometimes you're really lucky, you find one along the way. And not every herb patch we can actually get. not good. And the reason why I have to do this is if I were to participate in the exam now, the Bamboo Mountain Sects exam, I actually could not succeed. And yeah, jackpot right here. One thing you need to pay attention to, especially once you have money, and if you start with alchemy, you immediately get like tons of money, are secret pavilion exterior deacons. Try trading with them, they can have a bunch of insane stuff. This is a technique that helps you form the nascent soul. This is a pill that helps you get to foundation. This is a pill that helps you with the core formation. This is a plus lifespan pill in case your lifespan is running low. All of it great stuff. Obviously I am poor. I am way too poor. Okay. Let's see. There are, and this is one of the herb patches, there are two possible locations. Either we discover herbs that no one else has found and we can try to hide it with an array. And since I picked the starting options the way I did, I have the first glimpse of Dao, so I can put down an array. Or alternatively, a spirit beast is already here and we would need to fight it. Hell yes. A faint medicinal scent leads you here, and it turns out to be a chaos spawn fruit that you don't normally see. The herb has already matured 10 of them, and the remaining 11 strains will grow in 11 days. No one else has found this place except you, so you decide to. Either can collect it now, which is the preferred option if you don't have the formation DAO, or we keep waiting. But of course, since we decided to wait, we need to do some safety reasons or like safety protocols. In this case, we will start a formation like small near it. And we were lucky with the formation, no one else found it. So after several days, we got our chaos spawn fruits. And now please don't get robbed. I could even, since they have a value of 1,440, like trade 2 of them with her. So there you go, I could get the foundation pill and even some money. If you are lucky and get it somewhere close to you, it's even better. But we have money, and money is good. Now when we head to this city, there's an event going on, basically trading disputes, I think it's called. And well, there's a dispute from the traders from Pungsha Sea, and additionally the mainland island. I don't think this is the guy I wanted to interact with. We will be doing this quest because it has a really nice reward. Oh, the Immortal is here as well. The Immortal, in this case, he's just called, appears in the 5 city inns at different times. And if you interact with him, it costs you some money. But after having interacted with him 3 times, you get a reward for way later on. And he's basically saying, let me read your palm and look at your destiny. And you pay money. And he says, yeah, you have a bright future ahead. And that's it. I think it costs like 100. Very nice. This is the trading dispute girl, exactly. We keep listening to her. We just ask, why do you need all this special stuff for refining items? Which, to be honest, is like self-explanatory once you do the refining, but here we go. And she's stating that she doesn't need the item, so we are tasked now with trading for the item. He gives us 2 different options, either we trade 10 Skyman shrooms for it, or we use spirit stones to trade for it. And the shrooms can be bought and are way cheaper. What we're doing now is teleporting to Wuling City and heading to the Herb Pavilion. At the same time, I can also check the city appeals if anyone needs chaos spawn fruits. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So rich now. So rich. These notices refresh every year. No, I think every half a year. And are quite cool. Here we are, and now each NPC, or in this case shop, has certain interests. For example, these have interests in herbs. Now, when I traded with the other girl for the foundation pill, I got 1440 spirit stones per herb. Since he has plus 80% interest, since he's like an herb shop, we get way more. So I can just give him probably like 13 of them, and we are rich, more or less. And here are those Skyman shrooms. They look so trippy. By the way, when you right click an item, you get the option of how many you want to select. You can also left click to drag, get the same stuff. You can also hold shift and then right click to immediately like put 5 over in the other screen, or if it's less than 5, that amount, or control to put a whole stack over. But here you go, 10 Skyman shrooms. It costs 4,000. It's very good, since normally an armor, and we'll be getting an armor soon, an armor costs about 10,000 money, or like I think 12,000. And with this quest we can obtain one way cheaper for only 4,050. Here you go, we traded the Skyman shrooms for the puncture crab claw crab, exactly. And we can give it to her. There you go. And with different options we can either set a ridiculous price and ask her for way more money. I don't think she's gonna accept it though, so we're just gonna say, here you go, it's as a gift. How can I bear this? Okay, you've helped me. How about I exchange this crab claw with a magic tool I previously crafted? Hell yeah, this is armor. Low quality magic tool. At the end of your turn, get healing, get shield, and get frostbite. Frostbite is a debuff, the other two are buffs, and we are looking solid now. That being said, we now also have some money. We could probably explore for more herb patches, but I'm not that interested. Instead, we'll buy the Golden Light, which is how we can deal damage in the early game portion. Because as mentioned, all the damage we deal is halved. As such, most of our techniques don't do too much, but the Golden Light is a very good option. It gives us, and that's something you could see top left, like the buff, it gives us 30 gathered force. Now at the start of each turn, if we have gathered force, all of it is removed and you deal 1 sword damage per stack of gathered force. Of course, this is half due to extreme difficulty. Now when I personally take HP damage, and that's important, HP damage, not shield damage, for every HP damage I take, the gathered force is reduced by 1. So it's in our interest to get a lot of shield and preserve our gathered force. That's why I bought Tree Wall and Firewall. Then additionally, of course, we head back to the Taos Inquisition. I want a better technique to get, on one hand, XP from, and it also provides like some slight healing. Wherever the turtle breath technique may be there. No, spiritual breath, breath control, turtle breath. It's acceptable in terms of price, 6,000. There are some better techniques like the purple sun mixed sky, but this technique requires slightly accomplished cheat out. This only requires first glimpse of Tao, so I can learn this. There you go, perfect. And now, since I'm a Wuling City fanboy, I'll head back to Wuling City. We open up our inn. I need a room. I don't need it for that long, but probably a year. You can always extend the time. Just click on room up here and increase it. First, step is learn the turtle breath technique. 6 months, a lot of time, so be it. I probably should also increase my state of mind, I just realized. But now we learned the technique, we can drag it over, and we can talk about this menu. You have a primary and secondary techniques. The effect for like in combat stuff and passive is the same regardless of the position. But the primary technique decides the cultivation speed. So in this case, it states right there, progress, first layer cultivation speed, 96. So you get a base progress of 96. So if you click cultivate as well, it says it right here, 96 from it monthly. This technique, on the other hand, has 288. So a lot more. And you can just see like the total monthly with turtle breath 466. And this is like 150, yeah, 155. Very important to equip your strongest cultivation speed technique right there. We can once more look at all of the city appeals. Oh, perfect. These are, in case you're interested in the mod, it pulls together the notices from all 4 cities. Or 3? Nah, okay, there are 5 cities, but only 4 of them have these notices and pulls them together. Now we head to the Spirit Herb Hall. I'll be here quite often, because it has good stuff. Did someone need a tempered heart pill in this? Not yet. But I think this is a great investment. Someone always likes them. Now there are some Pride heart pills, which is what I wanted. Because what I want to do is increase my mind. And these pills, each of them plus 4 mental state, there you go, we are peaceful now. If NPCs did not have it, I can also buy them at the shop, just slightly more expensive. Instead of 525, it's now 787. But I'll still do this. Plus 40, 45, I'll buy 5 ice hearts as well. 9k is a lot, but here we go. Just right click all of them. Perfect, we are serene now. That feels good. We can head back to our room again. And you can see it's like now better. Of course, my qualifications are stupid. Sorry, I am actually stupid. But we'll first up increase our turtle breath technique in terms of its level, which doubles the cultivation speed and the effects it provides. All bad, the effects are not good. If no damage has been caused in this round, you heal. Not enough time in the room to make the breakthrough. Okay. That is an easy thing to fix. But it's very essential early on that you improve the cultivation speed you have. Because you always get passive XP, that's the idea, just by having your technique, and that's the cultivation speed right there. You get passive XP, and then you were to get additional bonus XP by actively cultivating. But by learning techniques, you still get the passive stuff. And we want to maximize the passive stuff we get. Now in this case, I could like cultivate for 11 months to reach middle chi refining. But I'm not interested in it. It will happen regardless. Then I can also comprehend the Jade Cloud Kung Fu. And I think we're also at the end of the episode. I'll just comprehend the different techniques. The tree wall is necessary. The firewall is necessary. I want this fire clarity seal. And lastly, the Lingyun technique. And we're at year 4 already. I can now redo my stuff. I don't need these. What's the order? We start with water. Water gives us wood. So we pick a wood one right there. And then after we can do fire, or we can go for this wood one and do fire. The idea is we start with a water skill. This is a water skill. It gives us wood chi. Then we do a tree wall, which is a wood skill and gives additional or doubled shield if the last was water. So this is a slight combo. And then after you can go tree wall into fire wall. So it also gives you shield and doubles. Or in case you don't have enough fire yet, you use this skill, which gives you fire, and is a wood skill into that. That's the rough gist. We just want to maximize the defense we have. Any appeals I am interested in? Chaos Spawn Fruit again. And our investment was worth it. So good, such a good player. I could also increase these techniques to 9 and 18 shield. And then I think we're like ready. You can see like the early stages, especially when you're really weak, are all about maximizing efficiency. 5 of these, I like buying them because they are cheap. But you can see we started with minus 30 state of mind from one of those trades. We are at 70 already. Really not a big deal. We head back to our room and then we finish the last stuff. And then we're ready to go exploring in the next episode and join a sect. Probably do a hero competition as well. Okay, I have 1 month left in the room. We go for 7 more. Year 5. But yeah, this was the introduction to our series. Arguably, we didn't do too much, but we got a very good character now. We can use that in the future. Obviously, we equip these techniques. But now we start with 18 shield every fight and 1 more chi at the start of each turn. I could upgrade this, but who cares? We have a faster technique, we have more speed, we have some defensive options, we have an offensive option with our top magic tool, we have a good armor which grants 8 shield at the end of each turn and also healing. So we are well set. And we can save. And we'll see us guys in the second episode where we actually get started. We'll be doing a young hero competition. We'll be joining a sect. I can probably do some notes as well. And yes, I do have 100% achievements. Not a clock. Notes. Young hero competition. Join a sect. Get richer. Do events and so on. So I hope you guys tune in. See you guys next time. Bye bye.